How did your mentality change when you got to Denver?
In Denver, I was more like, I think in Denver I was way more rebellious. Like I felt like it was like, to hell with the media, to hell with the coaches. I was coming off like a really bad interview my second year, and I was talking about the coach and like how not being able to really being able to communicate with him, because again, he's an older guy. He didn't like younger players.
This is Byron. This is Byron, yeah.
Didn't like younger players, and like his whole staff was pretty much like that, except for Kenny Gaddison. And it was just like, anytime I would ask him something, it was like, oh, that's a stupid question, Rook, or this and that. And it was just like, okay, so I'm not going to ask you anything. I'm just going to go out there and mess up, and then if you get mad, you get mad. So, and when that article came out, it kind of changed, obviously, he and I relationship and some of the other coaches. But when I got to Denver, I started dealing with George. It was just like, oh my God, like no. Like I can't keep, like if this is what the NBA coaching is like bro, how are y'all considered like great quote unquote coaches if y'all act like this? And it's like, to me, there's no worse feeling if you feel like the head of the game is throwing salt in the game. Like if you got everybody else playing hard and trying to do certain things, and you literally throwing salt in the game, like trying to mess with players' heads so they don't even like mesh together. It's like, what do you like? Why? Like I never understood that. Like if I come to you and tell you something about him, and then go to you and tell you something about him, and then just watch and see what happens. It's like, and it didn't even have to be true. It literally did not have to be true. Oh, Melo just said you shoot too much. You shoot too much. Oh, JR said you don't play defense. I'm sitting there looking like, yo, bro, did you say that? He's like, nah. He's like, yo, did you say this? I'm like, no. He's like, okay.
I always find that interesting, because when I would have a coach that would talk shit to me about one of my teammates, I would always think to myself, what does he say about me to my teammates?
100%. 100. It's like, not only just to my teammates, you probably go home and tell everybody everything. Like, what is going on?
What goes on in those coaches meetings? I want to be a fly on the wall. When we started this podcast, I want to be very clear, Tommy. When we started this podcast, I personally had no intention of George Karl or Byron Scott catching strays today. Okay.
No, see, for Byron, I'll give Byron a pass, because that was more me. That was just me being young, dumb, and not really knowing things. Now George, he can catch all the strays.
Yeah, well, we don't have to relitigate it if you don't want to, but it's like he's taken a lot of shots at you since that time we did in the book and everything like that.
I think he lives to take shots at people now. And it's like, at what point do you not think you made any mistakes? Like, seriously, we didn't have one out of bounds play my whole time playing for this man. If you go back to that Lakers series, we lose on 3 out of bounds plays. Trevor Ariza steals all of them, and we lose. It's like, how do you I don't know. You got Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and Detlef Shrimp, and all these dudes, and like you've had crews. How could you be labeled a great coach just because you won in the regular season? You can win games. If you coach long enough, you're gonna win games if you got the right talent.
Right. What was your favorite moment with AI?
I think my favorite moment with AI was like when he came into the locker room and pretty much let everybody know, like, if it's not me, and if it ain't him, I'm talking about Melo, then like literally give the ball up. And he was, but you know how like, you know when people talk indirectly, but they're talking directly, and it was just like
you felt that.
It wasn't towards me because he fortunately he knows who can score, who can't, and he also he has a huge problem with people who can't score having the ball at any point in time, unless it's like a dribble handoff or taking the ball out. He does not like it. So it was just so happened as one of our big guys, and it was just like, and he's not wrapped too tight, so he's like he might fight you. So it's like we don't want that in the locker room at halftime or anything, but it's just like AI comes in and is like, oh, what? You heard what he said. You heard what he said. Give him the ball.
How would you just in general describe that group of people in Denver, your teammates? Like,
we were, it's funny because I feel like we had that was probably the core of like just a bunch of great dudes. We had that. It's just that we didn't have we had zero guidance. Like we were literally like misfits out there. Like we had all the talent. We had, scoring, defense, athleticism, speed. We had it all. It's just zero guidance for us. Like we couldn't get out our own way.
We hope you had fun with us today. We hope you laughed. We hope you had fun with us today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.